Welcome to today's lesson. So today we have a very important lesson, okay? Very important one. And I want you to follow me closely because we are going to go through some of the questions, some of the topics that are likely to come in 2026 biology exams. So these are not just merely predictions. These are based on how the ECZ structures their questions, okay, how they bring their questions. So pay particular attention and follow me closely, and don't forget to subscribe, okay. So the first topic that you should go through, the first topic that you need to understand and go through is cell specialization. So number one is what? Cell specialization. So this is very important, and probably this is going to be either the first or the second question, because that's how they do it. They bring questions. So under cell specialization, you need to know quite the different types of cells that we have, okay. So you need to know the most important ones. You should know what is xylem and its function and the parts, okay. And you should also know phloem. You should also know what? Phloem, and others like the palisade cell and all those, okay. These are very important. So this is going to be the first or second. One of those first questions is going to come from what? Cell specialization. So ensure that you understand the first thing, the definition of cell specialization, then examples like the xylem, the phloem, and how they operate, their functions. This is very, very important, okay. So this is the first topic that you need to understand. Then generally, even the cell structure, know the cell and its parts. That is very important also. Just the cell structure generally, okay. So know the differences between the animal cell and the plant cell, and be able to differentiate by looking at their structures. This is a plant cell, this is an animal cell. These are probably going to make the first questions of biology, okay. So that is very important. Then the other topic that you need to concentrate on is the enzymes, okay. So the enzymes, at least know the definition of the enzymes and their main function as biological catalysts, and how they are affected by temperature, okay. So factors that affect enzymes, okay, operation, factors affecting them. So know this also, the enzymes and their factors which affects their rate of reactions, the temperature, the pressure, the pH, and all those stuffs. Ensure that you understand. That is very important, okay. Then the other thing that you need to concentrate on, the other topic that is very, very important is actually is on the nutrition. So this is very important, and I want you to consider this. So animal nutrition is very important. Under section B, it's going to come for paper 2 under section A. This one is going to come. So under animal nutrition, they are going to bring digestion, okay. Digestion, you should know what is important. Understand the alimentary canal, okay, alimentary canal. So this question is going to come because when you look at the past papers, you will find that most of the questions in most papers, this question is there, okay. They'll bring the alimentary canal, they'll bring part of it, and actually you can look at my previous videos. I've answered quite a lot of questions just on on digestion. That shows that this question usually it comes. So ensure that you understand what is digestion, the alimentary canal, how digestion occurs. Then on the essay part, pay attention. On the essay part, you should understand how digestion occurs in the mouth. They are going to tell you maybe 4 marks, or they'll give you the number of marks depending on the question, to describe digestion digestion in the mouth. Because digestion starts in the what? In the mouth. So you need to understand how starch, how the digestion of starch starts in the what? In the mouth. Starting from the physical digestion, then the chemical digestion, the enzymes that are involved and everything. So ensure that you understand this one. And also the alimentary canal. This is very important. Okay, that is on digestion. Then this is what? This is animal nutrition. Okay, the other topic that you need to concentrate now, the other topic that you need to concentrate on is on the plant nutrition. So under plant nutrition, you need to concentrate on photosynthesis. Okay, so photosynthesis is going to come probably on the essay part. It's going to come on the essay part. They are going to tell you, to ask you to explain how photosynthesis happens. Okay, they are going to ask you this question. So this is the main question that they ask on the essay part. They will tell you to explain how the leaf, the leaf is adapted to photosynthesis. This question usually comes on the essay part. How the leaf is adapted to do what? To photosynthesis. How the leaf is adapted to photosynthesis. Okay? How the leaf is adapted to photosynthesis. So this question, sometimes actually they give it what? 12 marks. Just imagine 12 marks, because all those questions, each question in total carries how many marks? 12 marks. But just this question, they'll just say, explain how the leaf is adapted. Sometimes they give it 12, sometimes 6, it depends. So ensure that you understand how the leaf is adapted to carry out its photosynthesis. What are the parts? What ensures, what enables that the leaf undergoes what? Photosynthesis. That is very important. So ensure that you understand that one also. All right, let's look at the next topic. So before we actually look at the next topic, on digestion on digestion under animal nutrition, you should also look at the liver and its function. The liver and its what? Its function. Because that one also comes on the essay part. Okay? The liver and its function. Its functions. Okay? This one is also very important. So ensure that you do what? You go through this one. The next topic that I want you to consider is the transport system in both animals and what? And plants. So transport system. Transport system. So this one has two types. We have animals and plants. Okay? We have animals and plants. So in animals, what you should know is, number one, know the structure of the heart. This is very important. Probably in paper one, they are going to bring the structure of the heart, and they'll ask you how blood moves and all the stuffs. Okay? So this is very important. Know the structure of the what? The heart, even in paper 2. Then know what? You should also know the vessels. This is also very important. Okay? The blood vessels. So the blood vessels, these blood vessels, you should know what? Know what are veins and their functions. Know the arteries. Okay? And also the what? The capillaries. The capillaries. Okay? This is important. So under animals, okay, under the transport system in animals, know the heart and the blood vessels. That is okay, because that question usually comes. So go through this question. And you should also consider, this also comes under the essay part. Okay, I remember, is it 2021? One of the previous years, they brought the question on the essay part to describe the structure of the heart. They gave it 4 marks. 4 marks to describe the structure of the heart. And by answering that, you can either use words to describe how the heart is, or you can just draw the structure. Okay? If you draw the structure, it is same as explaining. So this question, consider it coming. Very important. Then under transport system in plants, pay particular attention. In plants, what you should study and what you should know you should know, firstly, know the vesicular what? The vesicular system. The vesicular system. Okay? The vesicular system. The vesicular system. Okay? So, this vesicular system, what you should know on it is the same as what I talked about under cells. Know the xylem and the what? The phloem. These two, the combination of these two makes up the what? The vesicular system. So understand the role of the xylem in moving up substances, okay? Moving up water and all those stuffs. Know the function of xylem and its structure. And also know what? The phloem and its structure. Under this one, also know these diagrams. They like to bring diagrams like, they bring them like this. Then yeah, it's like this. Then maybe this part is shaded, and they tell you maybe this is T. Then the inner part, which is not shaded, they give it R. Then this line in between, they give it T. Okay? Then they ask you to name this. So you should know where the xylem is positioned and where the phloem is what? Is positioned. You should know these structures. Okay? This is very important, this structure. So this is also the what? The vesicular system. Know that this is the xylem, this is the what? This is the phloem. Okay? That is very okay. So when you understand this, usually the phloem is what? Is outside, the outer part. Okay? And it's not shaded. Actually, most of the times they shade the inner part. Okay? But the phloem is usually outside. Then the inner part, this is the what? The xylem. And this one, which is in between, this line is cambium. So you should know all those parts. The what? The phloem is located outside. Okay? Then the xylem. The xylem and the what? Cambium. And the function of cambium and all these parts. So study this topic. This is going to come. Okay? Study this topic. Alright, let's go to the next topic now. The next topic that you should look at, this one, I promise you it's going to come. So you should look at what? Look at excretion. Excretion. Okay? Excretion. So excretion, know what is excretion. And under excretion, what is important? Know the kidney. Okay? The kidney. So when you understand the kidney and its roles, that is going to help you, okay? Because this question comes, they might bring it on section A of biology paper 2 or section B on the essay part. So on section A, how do they bring? They'll bring you the structure of the kidney, or they'll bring you the structure of the what? The nephron. The nephron. Because the nephron is the main thing in the kidney. It is the unit block, okay? The main functional group, okay? The main functional block rather of the kidney. It is the what? It is the nephron. So know the structure of the nephron. Then on the essay part, they'll ask you to describe how the kidney operates, how it functions. So on the operation of the kidney, what you should know, study all those processes, okay? Study ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration. This comes both on essay and on section A, okay? Ultrafiltration. Then study selective reabsorption. Selective reabsorption. These questions come, okay? So this one 2 marks, even this one to explain 2 marks, and the last one osmoregulation. So on the kidneys under this topic, study this. They'll bring them either on section B or on the essay what? On the essay part. So this is very important. This is very important. The role of the kidney in what? In excretion. How it works in these processes. Then the other thing, study kidney failure. This is also very important. The kidney what? The kidney failure, okay? The kidney failure. Kidney failure. When the kidney fails to function, okay? So under the kidney failure, they are going to ask you what the solutions and how you can go about them. So under kidney failure, what is important is you should know what the kidney transplant, okay? The kidney transplant. Okay? Then you should also know the dialysis machine. Okay? Dialysis machine. So these are the solutions for the kidney failure. You should know. On the dialysis machine, it is very important. They might even bring the diagram. So know how it works and how everything goes about. These topics are going to come. If you go through these, you find it easy. Okay? So let's go at the next topic. The next topic, I can tell you to look at homeostasis. Okay? Homeostasis. Under homeostasis, just know the role of the kidney in what? In homeostasis, okay? The role of the what? Of the kidney in homeostasis. Then, what is most important here is the skin. The skin. This will come maybe in paper 1 or on the essay part of paper 2, okay? How this happens. How the skin maintains the what? The constant body temperature, which is what? Osmoregulation. Okay, I mean thermoregulation. Thermoregulation. So this is very important on what? On homeostasis. What the other topic that you should know, this one is very important, okay? This one is very important. Is ecology. So ecology. What you should study on ecology, okay? So what you should study on ecology, you should study the food chain. Okay, so you need to understand those terms. They might bring them on section B, maybe 2 of the terms. You need to know the ecosystem, the habitat, all those terms, okay? Then you need to understand now the food chains, the food chain. Food chain and food web. These two are very important, okay? Because they usually come, okay? They'll bring the diagram, maybe the grass here, then there is a bed, and there is another thing here. This eats this one, the first one, then the second one also gets eaten by the one which follows. So how this food chain goes about. So know all those stuffs. And also, you should know how energy moves, okay? How energy moves from one stage to the other, okay? That concept whereby when energy is being transferred from one stage to the other, maybe if this is grass, then we have the chicken here eating grass. How energy moves from here to say that 90% remains, only 10% is being transferred to the next. That point is also very important. And also know that the primary source of energy under this is what? Is the sun. That question also comes. So know the food chain, know the food web. This is ecology. Then the last topic that I need you to consider, is what? Is genetics. This is going to come on question number 5. You like it or not? I'm telling you, this question is going to come on number 5. Go and look at all the past papers. Question 5 of what? Of section A, biology paper 2. You will find what? Genetics. So under genetics, you should know how to draw the genetic diagrams, okay? So genetics, know how to draw what? Genetic diagrams. This question sometimes carries 7 marks. Sometimes it carries 5 marks. 5 is usually the case, okay? 5 marks. So you should know how to draw the genetic diagrams. And you should also know how to define the terms, okay? Terms like you should know what is, starting from the gene, what is a gene, okay? Then what is an allele, okay? Then what is a chromosome, and all those other terms. Most likely, they are going to bring one to define on question number 5. After they ask you to define, then when you come to the next question, now they ask you to do what? To draw the genetic what? The genetic diagram. And when you are drawing the genetic diagram, that is where many marks are on question number what? Number 5. So this is very important. Know how to draw the what? The genetic diagrams. So these questions, I can assure you, if you can manage to go through what I've said, on each of these topics, you just focus on those important things I was highlighting, okay? On each topic, up until this end, I'm telling you, you are going to pass biology. And this is the main, the main thing of the entire syllabus of biology. If you can be able to know just these things I've highlighted and focus on these topics, you are going to make it. You are going to make it. And also, if you are looking for an online platform where you can learn, where we explain and where you can find answers for the past papers and also the power of study materials, we have an online platform. I'll put the link in the comment section, okay? You can check it out and visit our platform, okay? The payments are affordable. All right, stay blessed and don't forget to subscribe.